I wanted to dive a little deeper and discuss why it's so important to have a local New York attorney for a New York criminal case. New York is a very, very special, unique place. There's no place else like New York in the country. And New Yorkers are unique. New Yorkers really relate to and like to speak to and trust New Yorkers. I myself am a New York City kid. I went to New York City public schools. I went to law school here in New York. It's very important that when you're talking to a lawyer about representing you in a criminal case, that you consider getting a lawyer who is intimately familiar with the New York criminal procedure, and not only the New York criminal procedure, but the procedure, even though New York State is one state with one criminal procedure law, each court has its own unique procedure. There's no way that a lawyer from another state, even from another area of New York, could fully understand the nuances of appearing in court. I myself was a prosecutor in the Manhattan DA's office. I was trained in the New York City courts, and I worked there for 10 years. What that means is that not only do I know the judges and am intimately familiar with the way they practice, but I also know the prosecutors. I trained many prosecutors. I know what prosecutors are thinking sometimes before the prosecutor does. I was there for 10 years. I investigated homicides alongside the New York City Police Department. I investigated gun trafficking cases and prosecuted gun trafficking cases alongside the New York City Police Department. And I tried cases as a prosecutor to New York City and New York State jurors. Quick interruption, my name is Peter Tilem. I am New York's Second Amendment attorney. We set up New York Tact Defense, which is a prepaid legal plan for gun owners. You should go to the website, www.nytactdefense.com, and check it out. Now back to the video. It's very important as a criminal defense attorney that you understand that really your only hammer as a criminal defense attorney that you keep in the back of that toolbox is the ability to credibly try a case. The ability to say, you know what, Mr. Prosecutor, I don't like your offer, and if you don't do better, then we're going to take this to a jury trial and we're going to beat you. When you're talking to a New York juror, it's important to speak their language. It's important to be able to speak to them on their level. That's something that someone who's from Wisconsin or from Arizona or from the Midwest or from the West or from the South can't do. When you're talking to a New York jury, you're talking to people who are from all walks of life in New York. When you have a lawyer that went to New York public schools and was trained in the New York courts, that's someone who has experience talking to those types of people. If you hire a lawyer from another place, they're not going to be able to have those conversations. They're not going to be trusted by those jurors. Let's talk a little bit about New York procedure. New York procedure is unique. And New York, as I mentioned, is a very unique and unusual place. New York law is not only unique and unusual, but also changes pretty rapidly. As everyone knows, we have a new mayor. I imagine the laws are going to change in New York City a little bit. But there's been a big push over the last couple of years to change New York procedure. The discovery laws have changed dramatically. The bail laws have changed dramatically. It's not only about knowing the laws of self-defense or knowing the gun laws. And of course, New York has very unique laws of self-defense and very unique gun laws. But it's also about knowing procedure. Procedure is what happens in court and what happens throughout the criminal process. When you find yourself charged with a crime in the state of New York, you want a lawyer who's going to know what's going to happen on day one and be able to advise you throughout the entire process and shepherd you through the system till the very end of the case. Now, we've set up New York Tact Defense, which is a prepaid legal plan for gun owners. And New York Tact Defense is simply set up because New York is unique in that it banned concealed carry insurance in the state of New York. So what we did was we set up a prepaid legal plan which is designed to act very similar to the concealed carry insurance that other people have outside of New York, but we carefully tailored it to New York gun owners. For example, New York has red flag laws. These insurance companies don't know about red flag laws. They don't cover red flag cases. We deal with red flag cases all the time. And so we include that as part of your prepaid membership in New York Tact Defense. When you hire an insurance company or an attorney out of state, he's not going to know about New York gun laws. But we're a New York Second Amendment law firm that's been dealing in New York criminal cases and New York gun cases for over 30 years. Therefore, when you sign up for New York Tact Defense, one of the things that's covered is getting your Second Amendment questions answered by a New York Second Amendment attorney. That's something an out-of-state law firm or an insurance company can't offer. When you're shopping in the market for a New York criminal attorney, you wouldn't go look in Arizona or California or South Carolina. You'd shop in New York. If you hire a prepaid lawyer from another state and you actually need that prepaid lawyer, I submit to you that when push comes to shove, and if God forbid you find yourself charged with attempted murder or assault in the first degree or some other very serious crime, you're not even going to use that prepaid attorney. You're going to want to get yourself the best because you're on trial for your life, and you're going to start searching again, forget about all the premiums you've already paid, and go out and hire yourself a local New York criminal attorney who is a former prosecutor, who knows the courts, who knows the procedure, who knows the judges, and who knows the prosecutor. When the chips are down, you're going to need the very best. And so it's important to, up front, hire the very best attorney you can find.